Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something that, well, it pretty much consumes all of us at some point. Longevity. Everyone wants to know the secret to a long, healthy, happy life. But the philosophy we're diving into, it didn't come from some high-tech lab or a Silicon Valley startup. It actually started, believe it or not, from a conversation on a rainy night in a tiny bar in Tokyo.
And that conversation led to this concept of Ikigai. It translates roughly to the happiness of always being busy. But it's so much more than that.
Right.
It's this deep connection to why people on the island of Okinawa live for so long. And our sources make it really clear this isn't just, good genes. It's a whole system.
A system of what? Like diet and exercise?
It's physical habits, yes, but also this profound sense of psychological purpose and these incredibly resilient social structures. It all works together.
So our mission today is to unpack all of that for you. We're going to dig into the sources from diet to philosophy and figure out what you can actually use in your own life.
And just to set the stage, get this. Okinawa is home to a place they call the Village of Longevity, Okimi.
Right.
It has a centenarian rate of nearly 25 people over 100 for every 100,000. I mean, that is just miles beyond the global average.
That's incredible. It shows they're really onto something. So let's define it. Ikigai.
Ikigai. It's your reason for being.
A thing that gets you out of bed in the morning.
Exactly. It's the fuel. And what's really striking is that in their culture, the Western idea of just stopping work completely, retirement, it just doesn't really exist.
I don't have a word for it.
Not in the same way. People just keep doing what they love, maybe at a slower pace, but they stay active and they stay involved for as long as they possibly can.
Okay, so how do you find it? Is there a structure to it?
There is. You can visualize it as a diagram, like 4 overlapping circles. The sweet spot in the middle, that's your Ikigai.
Okay, what are the 4 circles?
So first, what you love, that's your passion. Second, what you're good at, your profession or your skills. Third is what the world needs. That's your mission. And fourth, what you can be paid for, your vocation.
Huh. That's where it gets tricky, I think. That tension between what the world needs, your mission, and what you can get paid for. A lot of people feel like they have to choose. How do the Okinawans handle that?
Well, that's a great question. And I think it's because in a traditional community, those things are much more intertwined. The community needs a farmer.
And they pay the farmer. Mission and vocation solved.
Exactly. It's a much more direct path. They also have this idea of takumi, or mastery. The focus isn't on a quick buck. It's on providing real, irreplaceable value over decades. If you do that, the rest tends to fall into place.
It makes sense. Your purpose becomes less about some abstract self-discovery and more about just serving your community.
Precisely. And we should also say Okinawa is just one of these blue zones.
Right, the places where people live the longest.
Yeah, there are 5 of them. Sardinia in Italy, Loma Linda in California, Costa Rica's Nicoya Peninsula, and Ikaria in Greece. And in every single one, you see the same themes popping up.
Let me guess. Purpose, community.
Purpose, strong social ties, moderate daily movement, and a diet that's mostly plant-based. It's a clear pattern.
Okay, so let's get into the practical stuff, the actionable secrets. Starting with diet, the first rule I saw was hara hachibu.
Yes. Fill your belly to 80%.
So, just don't overeat.
It's basically that, yeah. It sounds simple, but nutritionally it's huge. Okinawans eat about 1,800 to 1,900 calories a day. In the West, we're often way over 2,200, sometimes over 3,000.
Okay, but how do you actually do that? How do you know when you're at 80%? It seems so abstract.
Well, the trick isn't about calorie counting. It's much simpler. They use smaller plates, for one, and the main rule is to stop eating the moment you start to feel full.
Not when you're totally stuffed.
Exactly. That last 20% is what takes so much energy to digest and really wears the body down over time.
And the diet itself is mostly plants, right?
Absolutely. A ton of sweet potatoes, vegetables, tofu. But the real superstar, the antioxidant powerhouse, is this food called shikuwasa.
What is that?
It's like a small, super potent lime. And it has 40 times the concentration of a compound called nobiletin than you'd find in an orange.
40 times. Wow. And what does that do?
It's been linked to protecting against things like cancer and type 2 diabetes. It's incredibly powerful.
So they're not drinking sugary sodas, I take it.
No. Their go-to drink is sanpincha. It's a mix of green tea and jasmine. It's got all the antioxidant benefits of green tea, but it also helps lower cholesterol. It's just what they drink.
Okay, so diet's covered. What about movement? The sources say these people aren't like marathon runners.
No, not at all. The key is consistency, not intensity. They are just always moving. gardening, walking. The big enemy is sitting still for too long.
Right, I've read that. Just 30 minutes of sitting slows your metabolism by, what, 90%?
It's dramatic. It tanks your good cholesterol. Your body's basically shutting down. It's designed to be in motion.
And the Japanese have this amazing institutionalized way of making sure people move.
They do. Radio Taiso.
The morning exercises.
Yep. It's a short, dynamic stretching routine. You see groups of people doing it in parks, at work. About a third of the country does it every single day.
Every day, it's about keeping everything limber.
It puts all your joints through their full range of motion.
Yeah.
That's what prevents the stiffness and falls that you see in older populations elsewhere.
Plus all the Eastern disciplines like yoga and Tai Chi.
Exactly. Things like Tai Chi are incredible. They're proven to slow down conditions like osteoporosis and even Parkinson's. It's all about gentle, consistent, purposeful movement.
Which brings us to the internal side of things. Because you can have the perfect diet and exercise plan, but if you're chronically stressed...
It'll all fall apart. The sources are so clear on this. Chronic stress is an aging accelerator. It literally damages your DNA by weakening the telomeres.
Those little protective caps on our chromosome.
Right. And when they get weak, your cells can't regenerate properly. So that's where the psychological part of Ikigai becomes so crucial.
And this is where we get into things like logotherapy.
Yes, from Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor. His whole philosophy is that our main drive in life isn't pleasure. It's finding our unique purpose, our reason to live.
His own story is the proof. He survived the camps because he had this goal, this desperate need to rewrite the manuscript he'd lost. That was his why.
And if logotherapy is the why, then its Japanese counterpart, Morita therapy, gives you the how.
Okay, explain that.
Morita therapy is all about accepting your feelings, your anxiety, your fear. You don't fight them. You just accept them, like weather.
So you don't try to control your emotions.
No. You let them be, and you focus your energy on action. The core teaching is basically do what you should be doing, regardless of how you feel.
I love that. So logotherapy gives you the big picture goal, the compass, but Morita gives you permission to just take the next step, even if you're scared or anxious.
Exactly. It stops you from getting paralyzed. And when you can do that, when you can focus on the task at hand, you often find yourself in that perfect state. Flow?
Ugh, flow. That feeling of being so completely immersed in something that time just disappears. That's got to be the peak experience of Ikigai.
It is. And you can train yourself to get there. There are 3 key conditions. First, the task has to be difficult, but not too difficult. It's a balance.
The sweet spot between being bored and being totally overwhelmed with anxiety.
Right. The second is having a clear, concrete objective. The sources use this great analogy, compass over maps.
Compass over maps. Why is a map bad for flow?
Because a map makes you constantly check your progress, your planning, you're thinking about the future. It pulls you out of the moment. A compass just points you in the right direction and lets you adapt.
And that lets you stay present. Which brings us to number 3, single tasking, the hardest one for us today.
It is the absolute enemy of flow. Research shows multitaskers are actually less productive. That constant context switching is so draining. It's been shown to reduce productivity by 60% and even lower your IQ by 10 points.
10 points? That's terrifying. So you have to be disciplined. Turn off the notifications, use timers like the Pomodoro technique, something to force focus.
Non-negotiable. And you see this devotion to flow all over Japan. The Takumis, these master artisans who are just obsessed with their craft. Or someone like Hayao Miyazaki from Studio Ghibli.
He keeps retiring and then just shows up at the studio the next day.
Because the act of drawing, of creating, that is his life's flow. He can't stop.
And it doesn't have to be some grand artistic thing. The sources mention microflow.
Yes, finding flow in routine tasks. The example they use is Bill Gates enjoying washing the dishes every night. He has a specific perfected method.
He's applying a little challenge, a little intention to something mundane.
And that keeps his mind engaged and present. You do it with anything. Folding laundry, writing an email. It's about being intentional.
Okay, so we have mind and body, but what holds it all together? The sources seem to point to the community, the social glue.
The community is absolutely critical. Okinawans don't live long lives in isolation. The central concept here is the moai.
These are the social groups, right?
They're small, close-knit groups, maybe 5 people, often formed in childhood, and they last a lifetime. They provide emotional support, but also financial stability.
How does that work?
They all contribute a set amount of money each month, and that pot of money is used if someone is in trouble or gets distributed on a rotating basis. It's a built-in safety net.
So it's not just a book club. It forces connection and reduces stress automatically.
It does, and it's part of a bigger mindset, Yuimaru, which is about teamwork. And this beautiful Okinawan expression, Ichiriba chode,
Which means,
treat everyone like a brother, even if you've never met them before. That spirit, that deep sense of community, is a massive factor in their longevity.
and that foundation helps them handle hardship. They have this incredible resilience, which is summed up in a proverb.
Nanakurobiyaki, fall 7 times, rise 8.
I love that. It's about focusing only on what you can control.
And this idea is rooted in 2 really profound Japanese concepts. The first is wabi-sabi.
Finding beauty in imperfection.
Exactly, like a cracked teacup that's more beautiful because of its flaws. Or the eye's shrine, which they rebuild every 20 years to embrace impermanence. It's about accepting life's setbacks instead of despairing over them.
And that acceptance of impermanence leads to the second idea.
Ichigo Ichii. This moment exists only now and won't come again.
It's a call to be completely present.
Right. To treat every conversation, every meal, every single moment as a unique, unrepeatable event. If you can do that, every challenge just becomes a learning opportunity.
This has been amazing. It's so clear that Ikigai isn't just one thing. It's this beautiful synergy of diet, movement, purpose, flow, and a really strong community.
It is. The centenarians in Ogimi say it best. One said, the secret is smiling and having a good time. Another said, keep your heart young.
Simple but profound.
And they actually distill it all down into 10 rules. Do you want to hear them?
Let's hear them.
Okay. 1, stay active, don't retire. 2, take it slow. 3, don't fill your stomach. That's the 80% rule.
Right.
4, surround yourself with good friends. 5, get in shape for your next birthday through gentle daily movement. 6, smile.
Simple. I like it.
7, reconnect with nature. 8, give thanks. 9, live in the moment, Ichigo Ichi. And number 10, follow your Ikigai.
That's a perfect roadmap. But I want to build on that idea of resilience for a second. That proverb, fall 7 times, rise 8.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about resilience, which is being able to withstand harm. But there's this other concept, right? Anti-fragility.
Yes. Anti-fragility is the next level. It's not just surviving a shock, it's actually getting stronger from it. The anti-fragile person benefits from chaos and volatility.
That feels like the ultimate goal, doesn't it? To build a life that is not just sustained by your purpose, but is actually strengthened by every single setback.
Precisely. So here's the final thought for you to take away. As you look for your own Ikigai, ask yourself this. Where in your life, your finances, a relationship, a skill, can you create a redundancy or take a small calculated risk so that the next time disaster strikes, you don't just bounce back.
You bounce back stronger.
You bounce back stronger
Right.
with more knowledge and more capacity than you had before. That's the challenge to sit with.